You want to meet Messi? We'll make it happen for you. Do you want to meet Ronaldo? We'll make it happen for you. And you have like Leonardo DiCaprio. I've seen Oprah. I've seen many people just coming through there, you know?
Did you still have an aspiration that one day you'll be doing something big and specifically in football?
When I was in Ethiopia, we lived in a small house, about 5, 6 people sleeping on the same bed.
One thing interesting about change is that in the beginning, it's extremely hard, even if the change is good for you.
I realized no one is loyal. I realized no one is honest. No one is decent. The change is so significant between where I was and where I am now today.
I totally agree with you. I think success is a choice. When a good opportunity comes your way, say yes, then figure it out.
That moment right there changed my life to something that I couldn't really express.
Welcome to Freedom or Nothing podcast. I'm your host, Nido Abdo, and today we have my good friend, Johnny Vegas. So Johnny is the founder of Cloud Out, which is a lifestyle consultancy and management to some of the top celebrities, athletes, and entrepreneurs in the world. Johnny, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And I'm glad to sit here in front of you and ready to have this amazing dialogue.
Looking forward to it, my friend. So, Johnny, obviously you've done a lot of great things, but my objective for this show is to look back at the journey. Because behind every successful person, there are a lot of struggles, there are a lot of obstacles, there are a lot of things that people don't know. So, why don't you take us back to your beginnings in Ethiopia and let us know how life was back then?
To be honest with you, looking back when I was a kid, you don't live reality. You just like living life. You don't know the difference between wrong and right, So when I was in Ethiopia, we lived in a small house, about 5, 6 people sleeping on the same bed, in a sense. Didn't have, shoes that I can change every day. Grew up on a street, with other kids running around. But for me, that was a norm. For me, that was the best life because I was happy. I didn't see rich or poor or this and that. I saw you wake up every day, you're out on the street with your friends, you're having a good time. And you come back, you do it again. So, but I was so lucky that I was able to go to America because of my father. He won what is called DV. It's like a lottery that America gives to Ethiopian citizens. And I was able to go to America. And that was one of the most challenging time for me because I didn't speak the language. I was in an area that was foreign to me. And I was homesick and I really wanted to go back. But over time, adapted the culture, adapted the school, made friends through football, and I said it made it my home. So Vegas been my home for forever. And my childhood was an up and down situation, but that humble beginning has given me the opportunity to think where I come from and to go back and give back to my community as well.
Great. And Johnny, I'm sure growing up in Ethiopia, as you mentioned, sharing a room with multiple family members and waking up every day, not knowing what the day is going to look like, but making the best out of it. Now coming to America, there must have been a significant contrast in culture, in lifestyle, among many things. So how were you able to adapt to the change?
I remember when I landed in LA, LA airport, and we had to drive from LA to Las Vegas. And I remember driving on the freeway toward Vegas and like looking at all those cars, and it was, for me, it was just surreal. Like it's like something you see in a movie, and it's not something that you actually believe that, oh wow, I'm here. But I mean, the change was very significant for me is because you come from nothing to something, you know. We had a great family members in Las Vegas that was helping us out. My parents were able to get a job, and you know, and me, I was adopting the you know the environment of the kids. Even though kids make fun of you, you don't even know because you don't speak the language, and but. It was just for me. It was difficult because you come from somewhere you were very happy, and you bringing me to an area where I mean it's amazing, but I don't understand the language. I don't understand like how things work. So it becomes for you like it's foreign, right? So and I really wanted to go back because I missed my friends. I missed the way of life there, even though this way of life is much better. But later on, you know, time heals things, and you adapt through time. So I was able to adapt the environment, the community, and to understand exactly what I have and what I had. So when I made that like distinct reality, that's when I knew that okay, you know, I love this place.
One thing interesting about change is that in the beginning, it's extremely hard, even if the change is good for you, right? So now you're coming to a new country full of opportunities that you probably would have never had
Yeah.
had you stayed in Ethiopia, but still you kind of didn't want that.
Yeah.
Do you feel, the experience that you went through that change had given you a way to maybe see the opportunities in front of you differently because now you're in another place? What were some of the things that came to you that were like, okay, maybe there's something to hear, right? So in Ethiopia, you played, you had fun, there was all these experiences,
Yeah.
but now you're in a different environment. What did you notice? What things came to you that you didn't have when you were back home?
For me at that age was the freedom of communication, the freedom of like you know to go out and do whatever I want when I want, the freedom to be with friends that I like and I love, I enjoy my time with, and the freedom to play games that we want to play. With games you play in Africa, you don't play in America. What I'm talking about is back in home in Ethiopia, there are small games you play with the little marbles and little, like these little square things you put on the building. There's so many different games, like the square ones, you know, you're jumping down, tether balls and all these stuff in the streets. There's a lot of things that I was neglected from. But let's focus on why I feel this way. I feel this way because I was a kid. You know, I was 9, 10 years old who is not like, you know, understanding what reality is. I think if I was 16, 18, 21, those ages, I really will understand where I will be is better for me than where I am, you know? But as a 9 and 10 years old, you prefer being in this environment rather than this environment, because here you wake up, you go outside, you meet with your friends, and you do whatever you need to do, you know. So reality doesn't really check with you, you know. So, and I think that's what was going on with me at the time. When I got there, I feel like I was neglected from those realities, the reality I was used to, and so that way I was affected significantly that I was homesick and I wanted to leave. But later on, I grew up and I understood, okay, where I am is actually, you know, is an important place where I can change my life, you know, and where I was, I can see that my friends wanted to be where I am now, you know. So I understood the differences later on.
I know you've told a story where in Ethiopia, you used to, playing football, for example, like having an actual football was a luxury item, right?
Still is, yes.
Still is, right? You just try to put, get a ball, get a bunch of socks together or whatever items that you can make a ball out of at home.
Yeah.
that's just a small sample of, the contrast between,
Yeah.
what you experience in a Western country versus, growing up
Yeah.
in Africa. Now, how was that contrast for you, where literally, I mean, things that you thought you would probably never have, and not major things, like a meal twice a day, right? A nice, comfortable place to sleep.
Yeah.
Healthcare, right? Things that a lot of us take for granted, but back home, it's really not available to overwhelming majority. So when you came and you saw these things, I mean, I love your story when you're driving on the highway and you're witnessing, and I have a similar story. I mean, I grew up in Somalia, and when I came to America myself, there were all these new things that came. I was just like, are you sure? Like an apple, like I can eat this? It's all mine. Where back home, you get it like once a year and you have to share with all your brothers.
Yeah.
How was that for you? Did that excite you, or did you feel a bit down that even though now you have all these things, but people back home are still struggling with the basics?
I mean, when we talk about food, yeah, there's a big significance because back home, what we were eating is same thing for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know, it's called shiro. You know, and this is my favorite food. To be honest with you, my favorite food is shiro because that's what I grew up with it. So when I came to America, like we eat meat, chicken, things like that back home for holidays only, a special occasion, sheep and things like that. Like when there's New Year's or
Wedding.
some wedding or like or a religious holiday or things like that, then we have that that amazing meal. You wait for that, And so when I came to America, I can eat meat whenever I want. I can eat chicken whenever I want. So I stay away from the churro and the other type of food that I'm used to because now I feel I'm having something I want to have. Because I remember one time when my auntie came to Ethiopia, she came with a magazine, from flight. And in it was these roasted chicken. And it looks, I'm like I used to have my mouth used to water, And to be in that reality in America and have whatever you want, it was amazing. And then I was introduced to McDonald's, and that was it for me. I was going to McDonald's like every day because I loved it so much, because something I'd never had, like burger and the way it tasted. So, but the reality is for me is that now today I appreciate shiro. Shiro is like the food that I grew up with, And every time I go to an Ethiopian restaurant or if I'm in Ethiopia, I love to have it because it reminds me of that time, the time when we don't have anything, the time when the reality was different for me, So but the change is so significant between where I was and where I am now today.
Yep.
And football, in a sense, is my meal. That's football opened everything for me. Yes, I came from an area of a country where we play on a pavement, on a rebel street, and a bowl that is we have a milk. Okay, the way we get milk is not with a bottle. We get milk in a plastic bag. So after you drink that milk, the milk bag is like a square, like this. So you poke a hole on all around it. You stuff it with newspaper, whatever you can find. So then you tie it up with the little ropes and then like shoelaces and things like that. And then you make a ball. On the street, you play with that. When I came to America, I was confronted by like an actual ball. You can go buy and you can buy it in like CVS pharmacy and Walmart and places like this. And so it just took me to a different level of like where I was and where I am. I start realizing the differences later on, And but football took me to where I am today, and still, it's bread and butter for me today.
I'm glad you brought up the topic of football, and as you were saying that, I was just thinking back. So when I grew up in Somalia, as you know, there was a civil war, and after the war, we escaped and we went to lived in Kenya for 6 months as refugees, Egypt for a couple of years. And when you're young and you're struggling through a lot, you don't know how to express yourself. You don't know how to talk about it. You don't even know what's going on, right?
Exactly.
You're moving from one place to the other. You see the fear in your parents' eyes, and the people around you. But you don't understand a lot of things. You don't understand
Yeah.
why certain people are trying to hurt others. You know, you're used to just waking up and having a good time with your friends and playing, and
Yeah.
but all of a sudden now there's another reality that you're not used to.
Yeah.
So football for me was my mental escape, right?
Yes.
When I discovered it, especially when I went to Egypt, I didn't know the language, I didn't know the people,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I cannot go back and say this is the moment I fell in love with it, but I knew once I fell in love with football, I look forward. It gave me something to look forward to,
Yeah.
and in life it's important that we have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
So I want to know more about how football shaped you. I'm sure at some point your aspiration, like most kids, was to become a professional footballer. And when that didn't happen, how you've transitioned into the business that you're in today. And I love this story. I know the first time I'm looking forward to other people hearing it, but
Yeah.
I want to go. I want to let you start from your love with football.
I mean, the football for me, like I was saying, is my bread and butter, is everything. Since when I was a kid, I loved it. This is what you are. It's an immune to your mind and your body. You know, when I came to America, I was given the gift and the opportunity to excel. You know, into a different reality. Like you were saying, it was also escape for me to an environment that I'm not aware of. I didn't speak the language, I didn't understand the language, but I was able to communicate with them through football to all the kids because I was so good at it. When I was in high school, I was so good. I had recruiters coming in from college looking at me, but unfortunately, I had a lateral medial meniscus tears, so multiple times, which kind of shattered my dream. And I used to pray so much to be a professional player like Thierry Henry, and but the end of the day, the reality was not that. And I remember being so depressed. I really don't know what I want to do because I didn't even have a vision for like to go to school or to to be this. Of course, your parents want you to be a doctor, a lawyer. The typical African parents, right? So and the pressure was there as well. So for them it was great. For me it was devastating. So what I did was like I realized I could not become a professional soccer player, so I moved on, and I went to college. I studied certain subjects, dropped certain subjects, and then I did aviation technology. I studied that, and then became a pilot, and I didn't like it. So then I went to a place that where every teenager would want to go is a casino, work in a casino on the Las Vegas Strip. At the time for me, it was a big deal. So I started my first job, my first gig with in Bellagio Hotel, and I was working there and doing photography first. Then that department kind of shut down, and then they had to like move us to like selective areas. I chose Valet. So when I went to Valet, I was a ticket guy. So that means that like the first person you see when you come to Bellagio is me, and the last person you see when you leave Bellagio is me. And I was on the north side of the hotel, which is you have the main side and the north side. The north side is the back side. That's where everybody comes in. So I was able to see Michael Jordan, Mayweather all the time. He brings 10 cars with him. And you have like Leonardo DiCaprio. I've seen Oprah. I've seen many people just coming through there, and it's just so amazing, and I realized that I love this. This is great. Like I was finding myself slowly. So one time I met a guy who actually lives in Dubai now, and an actor in French. He's a French actor, excuse me, and at the time he was not. He was a friend of Frank Ribery, and he was speaking French. He was like, saying whatever he was saying, and then I say to him, "Hey, bonjour, blah blah blah," and he's like, "Whoa, you speak French?" And then he's like, "Brrr." And then I said, "No, no, 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 please. I only know these words." He's like, "Oh, my brother, no problem, no problem." I was like, "You know what? You know what my favorite player is?" He's like, "Who?" I say, "Frank Ribery." He's like, "No way." He's like, "No way, that's my brother." And then he starts showing me like, on his phone, like their videos. They're like, getting along together and stuff like that. I was like, "Oh, that's great." He's like, "My bro, next shirt when I come to Vegas, I'll bring you the shirt, a signed shirt and a signed shorts." I said, "Okay, no problem." It's like, for me, it's typical. People say stuff to you and then, like, forgets about it. So I didn't expect it. So 1 year later, I changed from Bellagio and I went to open the new hotel called Aria. So it's an MGM Resort hotel. And I was doing still valet there, but this time I was driving cars. So he came 1 year later with a little bag of signed and shorts and shirts of Frank Ribery. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. That moment right there changed my life to something that I couldn't really express, because I saw a person kept his word, and I saw how it made me feel. And I said to myself, wait, this is amazing. So when I give my word to people, I keep it, because I know the feeling of you delivering to people when you say something. And this man changed my life, not only by giving me a signed shirt of Frank Ribery, but also delivering to his word. Because the reason why, I'm used to people saying something to you, especially in that environment, they either forget about it, they either just, don't do it. So when someone says something, you just say, okay, and then you even forget about it yourself. But when this guy actually delivered on his word, it changed something in my life. So today, I use that to my business, to myself, to my environment. When I say something, I deliver, because I know how it makes other people feel, because I was there and I know the feeling of it. So I told him, I say, whatever I can do for you, because he made me feel something different. So I said, whatever I can do for you, I'm here for you. He's like, you know what? I have a friend coming to Las Vegas. He wants to stay in Aria. Can you look out for him? I said, okay, sure, no problem. So the guy came. He stayed in Aria. I was able to pay for them. I made it sound like scamped. They were so happy and shocked that I was able to do that for them. And they told him, and he was so excited. He was like, oh my God, I can't believe you did this. It's like, you don't need to do this. And he said, in a few months, I have some surprises for you. I don't know what he was talking about, but I said, okay, what? I just go with it. I say, okay, no problem. So I remember it was, I think it was April, something like this. You know, I was sitting with my mom, and African moms, yeah, they do this thing as Ethiopians. I can't say Africans, but Ethiopians, they drink coffee. Like there's a setting. They have like the little cups and the little, like there's a setting. But my mom doesn't have anyone to drink with, so it was just me. So I had to sit with her, and I don't drink coffee, but I had to sit there, listen to what she has to say, and all that. While we're doing that, she loves opera, so we watched the opera show. And all of a sudden, I get a call on my phone, and it was unknown number. In America, when you get an unknown number, don't answer it, because normally it's advertisement or things like that. So I ignored it. But my mom was very eager for me to answer the phone. So finally, I listened to her and I answered the phone, and I hear, "Hey, hey, bro, how are you? It's Samir." I was like, "Hey, Samir, how are you?" He's like, "I got your number from this guy," and I said, "Okay, how can I help you?" So I'm coming with my friends in Las Vegas. Can you take care of this? I want to send you this much money ahead of time. I was like, "Okay." Imagine I'd never done concierge service in my life, never catered to anyone. But thankfully, I was trained by like Forbes and AAA and companies like this that the hotels hire to train their employees about service. And so I had an idea, but I didn't have these type of services. So I said, yeah, man, no problem. So conversation went on, and in the end, he said, hey, do you know who I am? I said, yeah, you're Samir. He's like, yeah, Samir Nazri. Literally, I've been watching this guy play like the day before. Arsenal was playing some team. I was watching him. I was like, Samir Nasri. Like, yeah, the Samir Nasri. Yeah. I was like, oh, like I went silent. And my mom looking at my face was sweating, my hand is shaking. I was like, I can't believe it's Samir Nasri is talking to me. And I said, yeah, bro, it's done. Don't worry about it. I take care of it. Don't worry. So I remember hanging up the phone, going upstairs, changing my clothes, running down, and my mom just didn't know what the hell is happening. And I start running out. And then all of a sudden, I go to my boss and I say, hey, can you help me, please? I have this. They're like, well, no problem. We will help you. That's when my concierge career started. That's where I understood how the business of concierge, how the business of lifestyle management started for me. So then, next thing you know, through Samir, I started getting to know Bakri Sanya. Through Samir Nazri, I started getting to know Theo Walcott, Gibbs, and all these guys, the Arsenal boys that were coming to Las Vegas. And then that's it. After that, I met Tyrone Mings, and through Tyrone Mings, I met others, and then so it became like a domino effect. And so my career in football, even though I wasn't a professional footballer, but God kept me in football through different channel. And today, uh, I served many, many superstars, athletes that are in a high level, in many different countries, many different continents, serving them many different ways for now, 17 years, almost 16 years, doing this. And so I'm so happy, I'm so great. And that took me to a different type of world, a different type of channel. And I realized also life, like I realized my potential. My potential is not just being, a concierge, but I also have a different a desire in business. So I used football to excel into those desires and kind of exploit my potential into different channels of businesses as well.
So, Johnny, I have two questions.
Yeah.
First question is, when you were a valet and you meet this guy, and through that interaction leads to one thing and then leads to another, and then it is where, as they say, the rest is history.
Yeah.
But my question is, while you were in that position, while you were doing valet and you had all these odd jobs, did you still have an aspiration that one day you'll be doing something big, and specifically in football?
Not at all. Not at all. Because I was doing this not even for the money. That's the thing about it. I wasn't there to make money. I was just so happy to help these people, you know? I didn't even see it as a business. That's what's so great about it. It's like it was genuinely I like to help these people. Genuinely I like to make them so happy, and I want to make sure that they're looked after so good. I think that I think that emotion and that character that they saw in me kind of gave them also, oh, this guy's different, because they're so used to different ways. As later on I realized, wait a second, I can turn this into a business. I can turn, like, I don't need to work in a casino no more. I don't need to do these things no more, because I'm still with these guys, looking this after them. I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I realized there is another world in football. Not only playing football, but there's other ways of to be in football. And it was, it, you start something genuine, and then I don't know, man, it takes you to places you can't imagine. I think honesty. I think that's why, for me, key things in life is honesty. You know, being genuine, and loyalty. Oh, those are like key things for me, because those are the things that today hard to find, and you can't buy them with money, because they're genuine. And so, and I was able to give that to those people, and they were able to give me back by showing me what the life looks like, you know, if I was a player.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
One of my key philosophies in life is to lead with value. And we live in a world where everybody is trying to get something out of someone. But when you have a mentality where you genuinely care about helping people, and you genuinely want people to get value from your interaction with them. And now it doesn't matter, if you are a valet, or if you're, you've got a regular job, or if you're a wealthy person. Because sometimes we think we don't have much to offer, and here you are, just someone that is just working at a valet, but still found a way to add value in someone's life. Now, a lot of people don't think like that. A lot of people, like I said, they're just like, okay, I just met this person. How can I use him to get X, Y, and Z? And even when I'm sure you've met people that you've done a lot for,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, they don't reciprocate. When you need help, and even if you're not even asking for it, and they know you need help, they're not going to reach out to you same way that you reach out to them.
Yeah.
Now, does that discourage you, or do you feel like it's important to be in alignment with your values, despite knowing that some people are going to take advantage and they're never going to be, as supportive to you as you were to them?
I mean, for me, you know, Dubai has changed me in the business perspective, because before I was naive, I was like I said, being genuine and being where I was, it was okay. It's good. But when you leave your job and you have nothing, and you cannot rely on people to fund you, because you're with these people for a certain time. So you have to make a business now. So meaning that you have to make out of your time, you have to make out of your, the effort that you put in. So when I came to Dubai, I realized, wait a second, there are people here, savage. I'm talking about cutthroat. I've never seen anything like it. And I was still naive to believe that, there are genuine people like me, honest people like me, they're here. I mean, there are, don't get me wrong, but the people that I have encountered with were not like me. They were the opposite. And I'm glad they were the opposite, because it taught me a great lesson in life, and to be literally, you have to be like thick skin, and you have to be understand how to be able to deal with these type of people, because you can see what their motivation is. Their motivation is not the same as yours. Your motivation is you really want to help people. You really want to make people happy. Their motivation is, all right, we have a business, we have to make money, we have to do this, and whatever it takes. Whoever we burn, whoever we do, that's it. And so I was confronted by that when I came to Dubai, and I had a hard time adapting that, because that's not me. Until even today, it's not me. But I understood the difference, when to be genuine, when to be business minded, when to be, drawing the line, to everything. And so this is why I think moving around, going around the world, seeing different cultures, seeing different type of people, seeing different type of characters, it teaches you. It teaches you to be like, what's coming next. It prepares you for what's coming next, and it teaches you to be something that is, different to the time that you live in. So I was, it was, my character changed, as a person as well. I realized no one is loyal. I realized no one is honest. No one is decent. No one is this, because it's a business. It's an industry where, okay, I come, you give me this, I'm out, done. Thank you, you know. But I can't speak in a sense of everybody's like that, you know. That's just the way the industry is. But then again, I formed a relationship, you know, and partnership into this industry by giving them that genuine service and that relationship, you know. So now I'm with these people today. I see their kids grow up, you know. I see that they getting married. I see when they met their first girlfriend, their wife, you know. I like, you know, I live that life with them. So when it's a very very mixed emotion business, you know. So that's when you need to know when to draw the line to be like, you know, business minded, like, you know, you want to be friendship, you know, or you want to have different relationship with these type of people. So because in a sense you really have to like when you run a business, you really need to know you're running a business because it's different. So Dubai has taught me that. The people that are here has taught me that in a good and a bad way. So yeah, it's a very challenging, but yet it's a very good experience.
You know, most people fail in business because they never start. In your case, you started because you just wanted to lead with value. Like you said, you just said yes. You know, one thing that
Yeah.
I learned from Richard Branson is that when a good opportunity comes your way, say yes, then figure it out. So you got a call, hey, I need X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
You've never done it. You probably never even experienced the type of money involved in those, you know, in managing and in providing the luxury experiences that you were. Now, as you went on, as you mentioned, next phase is now is a business. And business in general is cutthroat, especially once certain
Yeah.
things are involved, as you know. Now, when you got hit in the face a few times and got kicked in the belly, couldn't breathe, naturally, I would assume you have these doubts and fears kick in, right? I mean, it's like, hey, I didn't think it was like this. I'm just trying to be helpful here.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
And most people, this is the second area where they quit, right? Most people either don't start, and then when they start, they think this is going to be this happy, rosy road where, you know, everything is blooming with flowers and leads to happiness. No, that's not how it works. But we have something more. We need something more at that point to keep us going. Because the road to freedom, the road to success, it comes at a price. What were some of the things that kept you going when the going got tough?
To be honest, for me, it was my mother, the people around me that here in Dubai. Certain people helped me because when I came here, I remember that you know, I was genuine in a sense of like, oh man, okay, I'm gonna partner with these people. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. So you have that like vision of like, oh, I'm working with people that has the best interest in heart. But in reality, they didn't. What they want is your client. What they want is your database. And I didn't really quite understand that first. And so when I realized it, how deceiving and how like dirty these, like, you know, these significant individuals are, you know, I was heartbroken. I really don't want to be in this environment. I really wanted to leave, you know. And I said, and then I remember having a conversation with my mom. She's like, no chance. She's like, you're not coming home. You're staying there. You fight, and you know your potential, yeah, and capitalize on that potential. The world is not just cornered in one piece, you know. The world is spread everywhere, and you're one of them that can give help to other people, you know. And if these people can have 90%, 10% is enough for you, because those 10% needs other helps as well. So there's no way you come home. You need to understand how life works. And I remember, like, talking with, like, Bakri Sanya and other people here. They really showed me and helped me, like how things are, how things work. Because I'm in a foreign country, I have no idea how things work, where things are. I'm here, like, spending my life saving, and everything that I make in Las Vegas, it was just spent here. So I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not leaving. I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna do what I need to do. And I did. But what's so great about it was that it wasn't about, like, concierge anymore. It wasn't about lifestyle management anymore, because I was being plugged into a lot of communities, and I start understanding. That's where my entrepreneurism came out. It's like, whoa, I can do this. I know about these things. Like, I can make this bigger. So I got into consultancy, you know. I got into, like, I created this persona of, like, okay, you know what, man? Today I'm gonna start creating a relationship, you know, create this bridge to people that don't know nothing when they come to Dubai. So, yes, of course, yeah, okay, we book you the yacht and the clubs and the restaurants and this and this and that. But I wasn't really paying attention to that anymore. It was more into, hey, how can I help you in business? How can we be able to help you invest your money? So I started creating a relationship with, like, wealth management companies, real estate companies, people that are in high level, government level. And I said, hey, I work with these significant type of people. How can I be able to help them when they come into this country? They say, Johnny, don't worry. When they need something, let us know. So I started doing contracts. Man, I have so many contracts, like NDAs and this, like, sign this, sign this, sign this. And so now today, we do more things. Today I'm involved. Imagine I'm the international liaison for Ethiopian Football Federation and a strategic advisor. I never thought in my life I would be in this position. I'm in this position because I put myself there. I saw the growth in me. I saw the change in me. I'm 37 years old. I cannot see myself going to a club every day. It's not what for who does, good for them. But for me, I saw something else. I said, okay, my company, Cloud Out, will still book you these things. It's no problem, because that's what we do. But me as an individual, personally, I like to challenge myself. So I started getting into different businesses, different, challenges. And Dubai is so great for that, because it gives you that opportunity to challenge yourself if you can, And there are people here who give you that opportunity as well, because they need help, And so if you can be able to deliver, the door is open for you in every avenue you go to. And that was I think that's the reason why I stuck in Dubai, because I see the potential, I see the growth, And today I create relationship between. I'm still in football, by the way, So I'm creating a relationship between, the Ethiopian football to among different nations, understanding the different side of football now. So we're going from the individual players to the team, and from the team we're going to, the government level of FIFA and among other different CAF, different ones. So, and it's incredible. It's incredible what you can learn. It's incredible what you can push yourself into. And I love Ethiopia, and I love the grassroots, and I love the kids, because I remember myself, being in that position, and I want to be able to help them out. I want to be able to give back, and I know that, like, somebody gave me the opportunity to come to America, and my potential was exposed. Here I am today, But I want to be able to give that to the kids in Ethiopia, because there are kids on the street that are, we can say doctors, engineers, Ronaldo, Messi, Oprah, or anybody you might want to say, they're walking on the street, but no one knows them, because no one really gives them the opportunity. If these kids like, given the opportunity, they can be able to, become that, and then inspire others, and help others to become to whatever they aspire to be. So that's my vision. Is through football, I want to help, the grassroots, the one that needs help, which is my community where I come from, and Dubai gives me that opportunity. US, Las Vegas, these places where I grew up gives me those opportunities, and football gives me, like, the platform.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an incredible journey, to be honest with you.
I have this vision in my head when we were leaving the war in Somalia, and people were just running for their lives. And some people were doing it through walking.
Mm-hmm.
Others had means to be on a vehicle, and we were fortunate enough to be there. So my father, because he worked for the government and he was a target, so he got a massive bus and took our family and whoever else we were able to fit. But unfortunately, you can't get everybody in your community to go in.
Yeah.
But I remember as I was, as we were getting out of the city, watching these families as they were walking on the highways and all these different streets. And I just kept staring at it. And throughout the years, I have that vision in the back of my head. And to me, I symbolize it as, I don't know what happened to those kids. Like you said, kids that had aspirations, maybe they wanted to be doctors, footballers, whatever dreams they've had. But I was on this bus on my way out. Mm-hmm. And because I was fortunate enough to get out and get exposed to new opportunities, I have an obligation to do something with these opportunities, in hopes at some point in my life of giving back to those people that never had that chance. And that has been my drive. Yeah. Days that I don't want to work, days that I feel frustrated, days I want to give up. Yeah. I think back to that moment, man, you were lucky to get out.
Yeah.
So now looking at you, starting with just playing football with whatever means that you have, overcoming other obstacles in your life, to now to the point where you're working with the Ethiopian Football Federation, and in having programs and things that you're doing to help the Ethiopian youth to also have their shot. What have you learned about yourself in the journey from the kid on that street trying to survive to the person giving back to kids today in Ethiopia?
I'm going to give you a weird analogy, but it makes sense to me. Yeah. Imagine in life we go through a lot of obstacles, a lot of challenges, a lot of blockages. It's like a roller coaster for us, Either you, when you go through these type of challenges, you either give up or you fight, persevere, you move on. But for me, the way I look at things is like this. Like, for example, take a Google map, okay? Google map, you put a destination where you want to go, right? And it's supposed to take you there. But sometimes, if you live in Dubai, you miss an exit. It's a different challenge. So, but what I'm trying to say is, no matter what the situation is, regardless, you'll get to your destination eventually. But the beauty of it is that the journey, the journey is, let's say you miss an exit, and the Google map will take you to a different neighborhood, a different route, a different road that you've never been exposed about, never knew about Dubai. The only thing you know about Dubai is Sheikh Zayed Road and Al Khair Road, But there are different routes that when you go through them, you're going to see like, oh man, I never knew this villa existed. I never knew this coffee shop existed. I never knew there was like a mall around here. I never knew there was a park here. So because of getting lost, you actually gained a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, So don't be afraid to get lost. Don't be afraid to let's say, fail, because that journey will teach you things that you can't imagine, you know. I was talking about, like, anxiety, for example. I get anxieties here and there when I'm stressed, and the first time I had anxiety, I didn't even know what's happening. I didn't know what's wrong with me. I didn't know what, like, it's just so much things are happening. I was going to a hospital every second, and they don't know what's wrong with me either, because I can't really express what's happening to me. But today, I knew exactly how to deal with it, how to cope with it, how to understand it, because I've been there already. I've been through that journey. So in life, you really have to be comfortable with not knowing things and getting lost. Don't get frustrated, because just appreciate the moment, because around you, there's things that you never knew that now you knew, and I think that's my life experience, to be honest with you. I get my passport, for example, is full of stamps, like full of stamps, because I don't have pages anymore, by the way, because when I travel, like from the US to Europe, like at the time, they used to have like routes, like you pay $200 to go to from Las Vegas to Germany, but there's like 4 stops, like for a lot of people, you like 4 stops, no chance I'm gonna stop here and stop there. But for me, it was like amazing. Yes, 4 stops. That means that, like, I pay $200 to see 4 different countries. I mean, come on, that's like an amazing package. So I used to take advantage of that. So I used to stop two countries, 3 countries, and then stop there, go see the city, see what's about for a minute, and come back, get a stamp, and leave. So that way I was exposed to different information, different cultures, different characters, and I think that's why I'm successful in business today, because I'm able to understand like different cultures and different characters, and how to be able to to engage with them, because a person that's coming from, let's say, UAE is not going to act the person that comes from UK, or the person that comes from, New York is not the same way the person that comes from, let's say, I don't know, Germany, So everyone has a different type of character, a different type of culture. Some people love alcohol, some people, for them, it's not good. Some people love spicy food, but some people don't like spicy food. So everybody is different. If you be able to understand that, if you be able to, engage with those type of behaviors, adopt those type of behaviors, I think you'll be able to significantly succeed in business, succeed in life. And I think Dubai also gives you that. It's like it will confront you with different type of cultures and different type of behaviors and different type of people, around you. And so it's a learning curve for me to be here. But my journey has been a lot of ups and a lot of downs. And through those ups and downs, I learned a lot. And those knowledge, brought me here today.
Almost like you look at life as an adventure. Good thing, bad thing, whatever happens is part of the journey. There's a lesson here, a lesson there. Sometimes the best lessons comes from the hardest places.
Yes.
And you need to be willing to go there, to go those lessons. And that's why a lot of people, that's what a lot of people don't understand about success or freedom. They want it. You talk to anybody today. What do you want most in life? Oh, I want to be successful. What's I want to be able to travel the world. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do that. And to them, they think this is something that belongs to specific people. I mean, you're in the line of working with celebrities. You're in the line of working with athletes. You're in the line of working with a lot of successful entrepreneurs. And I'm sure their life journey, perhaps end destination was different than yours, but their life journey, would you say, is very similar? They all had to go through ups and downs, and like you mentioned that your Google example, couple of wrong turns, missed some exit, had to do a deroute. I mean, how would you describe their experiences versus your experience?
Great question. To me, whether you're a celebrity, whether you're athlete, whether like you're a custodian that cleans the floor, or whether you're the one who's an office worker or anything, it doesn't matter who you are. We all go through our own journey in our own way, you know? Even though our stories are similar, but the journey is different, you know? And I believe that nothing comes like easy. You have to face some challenges in order to achieve your goal. Let's take, for example, a football player. You know, a football player, when we see them, we see, oh my God, they're superstars. Oh my God, you know, look, they made it in life. They make so much money in this. Okay, you know what? Close that window, get rid of it, and come on this window. Who's this guy? You know, what journey has he gone through? You know, go all the way back to the academy. Go all the way down to the stress they go through. Were they good enough to be picked? Go deeper, put a microscope on their life. The politics they go through, you know? Like, is he good enough? Is he like this? Is he like that? And then when they make it to that level, and then there are challenges, you know? Hey, that player plays better position than this guy, you know? I'm speaking like this not because I'm a football player. I'm speaking like this because I hang out with football players and I know what they go through and I know how they, you know, their life story, you know. Not all of them, but a few that I have spoken with, you know. And it's not easy. It's not easy to the position that these people are in, you know. They weren't given this status of, you know, hey, you're a number 9, you know, and you're a goal scorer, or you Thierry Henry. I mean, if you sit with Thierry Henry, or if you sit with, you know, Bakary Sagna, or if you sit with, you know, even Michael Arteta, you know, who's a coach today, their life journey is amazing. It's not that they're always Thierry Henry or they're always Michael Arteta. They came from, as academy from a kid, they had to battle so many challenges in order to achieve, you know, who they are today. We celebrate with them today who they are. But when they were struggling, no one was there except their families to help them to get to that level. So in life, like whether you're celebrity, whether you're athlete, whether people like us, you know, it doesn't matter what position you are in. There is a journey that you go through to make you where you are today, to be successful you are today. You have challenges. You know, I think that's the beauty about these podcasts and these social media platforms, because we're able to see how people come to where they are today, you know? But the sad thing about it is that, like, also, we don't see the actual struggle. We see the success, you know? No one wants to be around you when you are struggling, you know? But when you are successful, everybody wants to be around you, you know? And so for me, I think sitting here and having that dialogue gives people the opportunity to understand, you know, where you come from, how you got to where you are. It's not just like, oh, you know, Johnny Vegas, he hangs out with this and this and this, or, you know, I keep using Thierry Henry name, but Thierry Henry, oh, the superstar, you know, today. No, if you really go back and rewind many years back, we got here because we had to face so many difficulties, so many challenges, but we never gave up, you know? We never walked away from the challenges. We appreciated the humiliation, the embarrassment we go through, the rejection, you know? There's so many things that you go through in life, and when you make it, that's the reason why you become very conservative, you know, because you cannot have everybody to celebrate with you, because they don't deserve that. I don't believe. Because for me, when you win and when you like achieve that vision, your goal, you can only celebrate with the people that knows you and that struggled with you, you know. The rest are, you know, you appreciate them, but you stop there, you know. And so for me, that's the way I look at it, you know. Like I think it's not just significantly, you know, this person, that person, this category, that category. It's, I think everybody as a human being, we go through some type of challenges in our own way, you know. My challenges are not same as yours, but in a way similar because we are going through challenges to achieve what we want to achieve. But every story is different, and that's what makes life so beautiful.
I totally agree with you. I think success is a choice.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't know how I would answer that. If success is available to everybody, to a kid that is in Gaza and under those circumstances that they're in right now, or if someone is in a war-torn country in Africa and they don't have the opportunities. But I would say in today's world where most people who are in the West and they have access to the internet and they can, you might not be able to afford school, but you can get access to a lot of free education. Mm. What I think most people don't have, however, is the ambition. I don't think most people are motivated to succeed, right? They would see someone at a high place, they would see the end of the journey, and then they will justify you got there because you were lucky or you had some advantages that I don't have. They wouldn't look at themselves, right? But they'll find all these different reasons why you succeeded and they didn't. Whereas you started exactly where they started from. And that's one thing I learned from working with a lot of successful entrepreneurs and other people that I've been had the opportunity to learn from over the years is that they too were just like everybody else at one point. They just sacrificed a few things to get to where they are. Yeah. Now, let's have some fun. In your line of business, I'm sure there have been some crazy requests. I mean, I remember during the World Cup, you letting me know, you asking if somebody wanted to pay $1 million to meet Messi. Or I mean, I know you get people ask you whether they want to meet Ronaldo or Messi or all these different players and all these different experiences. What would you say are some of the ones that were kind of like a bit off the top?
No, honestly, I don't know. Today, here's the thing. There are a lot of crazy things I've done in my life. I remember we had to bring some monkeys. There's a lot of things I can't say, and so. But I've done things that I believe are outrageous in a sense of. I mean, it's life. That's the way it is, right? But we like there's a brand that is started now, like it's a cool brand. We work with them at the moment, and it's called Experience, And what we do is, okay, so we have a big network, It's a low key. It's very, it's low key business in a sense of that. Today we live in a society. Having $1 million is not a big deal as it used to be. Okay, that's the reason why we have a lot of millionaires. And if what I mean is to achieve it and have $1 million is not easy, but if you do have it, I mean, congratulations, and you've done well for yourself. But what does that mean? That means that when you are in that level of lifestyle, you want to. You can have anything you want. You want to buy a car, you can. You want to buy materials, you can. It's no problem. But there's something that people in that level want, and that is something that can't have, And we realize that. We say, okay, why don't we create something that is significant for them to make their life, worth it in a sense of, have something that you can have, and that is giving them experience. Okay, what, you want to play tennis with Rafael Nadal? We'll make it happen for you. You want to meet Messi? We'll make it happen for you. Do you want to meet Ronaldo? We'll make it happen for you. So, but it's not something that you just like, this. It's like these people want to give back the money to their charity, or they want to do this way and that way. So it's like, it's also like a great cause in a sense, you get what you want, but then those people are able to give back into like, some type of charitable things as well, and so, which is like really cool. And so created that brand, not my brand, their brand, and we help them with it, in the best way we can as well. And I believe that's the future of lifestyle management, the future of concierge, And I mean, if you're in my industry, I hope you take this as a lesson and do it as well. But it's. I cannot discuss so many things because you understand me. I know you're trying to twist me into that area, but no, I mean, listen, we done crazy things in the past, and time. I'll tell you one story. One time, I remember we celebrated New Year's in Las Vegas, and we were having a great time. I remember we were in Hakkasan nightclub, and we were going mad. And then all of a sudden, I remember one thing. I remember waking up, and there was people sleeping everywhere, in a full of room. And I woke up, and I don't have my phone, I don't have anything, and then I look up, all I see is white, and it's snowing. I'm like, shit. Like in Las Vegas, we have a place called Mount Charleston. I'm like, what am I doing in Mount Charleston? What was that? How did I get here? No, I was in Utah, okay, a place called Bryan Head. It's a ski lodge. Ended up there, and I didn't even know how I got there because we were so out of it, And apparently the guy took, like, private jet, took us there, drove us to, what do you call it, Bryan Head. We had crazy. I saw the videos afterwards, and I couldn't believe it that I was not aware. But how can you do something when you're not aware? It's just, until today, I ask myself that question. I don't remember at all until I saw it on the video, and and that's one of the thing of the many things. But yeah, I mean, listen, it's fun to be a concierge. It's fun to be doing things that others don't have the opportunity to do it. However, if you want to go into this business, you really have to be patient. You really have to be tolerant. You really have to be, willing to understand what humiliation is, understand what sleepless night is, and understand what, life is not the same. So the people who is in as a concierge today, big up to them, because it's not easy to do this business. It's very hard, and if you're able to accomplish this, I think you've done well for yourself.
Somebody watching this right now, they're sitting at home and they're like, wow, I mean, this guy started from Ethiopia, was just a valet, and look where he is today. In their mind, they also have dreams, they have aspirations, but all they see is obstacles along the way. What would be your message to that person?
For me, it would be embrace the obstacles, because those obstacles are what's shaping you to be who you will become. Your character is shaped by your obstacles. So don't look at it as a negative. I was talking to my communication manager. We were having this deep conversation, me and her, and I was telling her, I said, how do you feel about pain? She's like, pain? I hate pain. What does that even mean? Like, the question. I said, no, but like, don't look at pain as like, I pinch you pain, but pain in life, like, how do you feel about it? She's like, I don't want to have it. Exactly. Because we are programmed to think pain is bad. Get away from it, run away from it, you know? So because of that, obstacles are pain, and people run away from it. But pain is one of the most beautiful things that you can encounter in life, because pain positions you to become where you want to go. Pain gives you discipline, you know, to strengthen your character to go to where you want to go, you know? So I tell people it's in the interpretation of things, you know? So you have to pay attention to details. So you have to enjoy pain, you know? When you break up with someone, you know, it hurts you. When someone dies, it hurts you. It's pain. So what you don't know is that pain is tweaking your character, changing who you are. If you break up with, if your boyfriend or girlfriend done something to you, you know, you will go through those emotions of pain. But then when you come out of them, you become a different person. You know, you lose someone, you lose a job, something happens to you. You go through those pain of emotions. But those pain of emotions will tweak you and change you to become and get ready to the next challenge, the next pain. So don't look at pain as a negative. Look at it as a positive. When you start embracing pain, you become something powerful, something that is important. Today, you see a lot of people we say, like, you know, wow to, like Elon Musk, or people that are very high level, people that are leaders, and people they go through so much pain, so much emotions. It doesn't mean pain as in you got punched and, you know, no. You go through a lot of failures, a lot of no's, a lot of rejections, a lot of something happened to you in life that no one understands. And that's what makes you who you are today. That's what makes you who you become tomorrow. And so to me, my message will be to the people who are listening to this, embrace the pain you go through, embrace the emotions you go through, because that is who you become later. So make sure that you embrace it the right way.
Couldn't have found a better place to end this amazing discussion. And, you know, you've achieved some great stuff. And what's even greater is the way you've persevered to get there. Looking forward to seeing you achieve more success. And hope you guys enjoyed this interview. Thank you.